Exactly. And it's all right.
The Jimenez family are having battery issues. But a friendly AutoZoner tests their battery and helps them find the right Duralast battery to get back on the road. In the zone, AutoZone.
Now we gotta go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Lily, where's the golf cart? There it is.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Tune in, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hey Melba. Yeah, y'all come on in, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Like the video if you haven't already liked it. We're finna get ready to start in a minute. Gonna let a couple more tracks play. And then we moving on, y'all. Man, like the video. Sub to the channel if you're not already sub.
Today marks the official start of the Starbucks Pumpkin Spice Latte.
What it do, y'all? This is Blocstarr Imis Analytics. And what are we? We are Blocstarr analysts. And what are we gonna do? We're gonna analyze the fuck out of some shit. Hey y'all, I'm trying to get my voice back. It's kind of coming back. Thank God for that. And this right here is our Micheal and Drake Special. Man, two talented ass people. Rest in peace to Michael Jackson. And congratulations to Drake, Aubrey, Graham. Yeah, DG and MJ. Man, I love what Drake's doing in the industry right now. And everything that he's standing for. He's standing on business. You know, UMG, they tried to swindle our boy. But he wasn't letting it go down like that. The same thing Sony did to Michael Jackson, when they couldn't get Michael Jackson to sell them his catalog so they could have 100% ownership, with him not wanting to make the label any more money. Yeah. That's what the This Is It tour was about. Not only do I believe it was about what Cat Williams said, he said, man, when white people say this is it, it means some good shit. Like, this is it. He said, man, when a black person say this is it, it's usually something bad. Like, man, this is it, man. Man, we at the end, man. This is it. He said Michael Jackson was telling us that these folks was trying to kill him. That these folks was trying to kill him. Really. What's up with it, Corey? What's up, Lennox Lewis? You beat up Mike Tyson, didn't you? Shout out to Lennox Lewis, y'all. We got Lennox Lewis in this motherfucker. He beat up Mike Tyson. But yeah, man, they tried to do the same thing to Drake. Same thing that Sony did to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson wasn't selling that catalog. They said, well, he does hang around kids too much. Let's say he's a pedophile. He does have a lot of kid fans. The kids love him. And he give them too much attention. Let's just say he's a pedophile. Let's pay the kids, and then we can promise them his dynasty if they go along with it. But Johnny Cochran was alive and he wasn't having that. Too many different people spoke good towards Michael Jackson's character. And then all the boys recanted their statements after Johnny Cochran showed that these people were just after Michael Jackson's empire and his money. Everything he wanted to leave behind for his kids. Everything. And to prove my point further, a lot of you know who Emmanuel Lewis is, right? He was a superstar as a kid, a TV personality, Emmanuel Lewis. And he was one of Michael Jackson's best friends. See, Michael Jackson didn't have a childhood, and that's what he longed for, a childhood. Even though, like Dr. Umar said yesterday at the beginning of our special, he said Michael Jackson was still stuck as a 4-year-old, because we all know Michael Jackson hit stardom at 4. He started performing everywhere with his brothers. And by the age of 5, he was already famous. He was world famous, him and his brothers. But he was the reason he had such an amazing voice. That's why Joe Jackson put him as the leader of the group. That's why when they went to competitions, they won, but when the labels wanted to see the Jackson 5s, they wanted to see Michael Jackson, not really the Jackson 5s. The Jackson 5 success was founded on Michael Jackson's deal. Joe Jackson wouldn't allow them to give Michael Jackson a deal without giving his brothers a deal. So Motown at the time, Barry Gordon and Diana Ross, it was like, okay, we'll give the brothers a contract for a year, but we want Michael Jackson. But for us to give the brothers a contract, Joe, their father, we need them to all agree, and you to agree, that they'll no longer be the Jackson Fives, but there'll be Michael Jackson and the Jackson Fives. Now, this is the thing. Joe Jackson may have felt like he was winning for Michael Jackson Brothers by saying, okay, we'll do that. But really, he was winning for Michael Jackson because that's the only person that they wanted. And they showed that. Even though they were called Michael Jackson and the Jackson Fives, they gave Michael Jackson bigger payouts, bigger payments. When they would buy hotels, buy hotel rooms and shit, they would buy out the floor, have the brothers, all 5 of the brothers, Tito, Randy, all of them, right, to share a room, and Michael Jackson would have his own room. Why do I think Michael Jackson had his own room? You say we coming after you or whatever, Diana Ross. But that's why I believe Michael Jackson had his own room. They not only wanted Michael Jackson as a single artist, they also wanted Michael Jackson as a sex toy, a sex slave. He's only a kid entering the most sexual part of the entertainment industry, the music industry, where people get taken advantage of sexually all the time. And he was a young black kid. But the fame could not buy Michael Jackson. The older Michael Jackson got, the more he hated the fame because it took him away from the fun. It took him away from his childhood. And then after that first year of being Michael Jackson and the Jackson Fives, it took him away from his brothers because it was no longer Michael Jackson and the Jackson Fives. It was just Michael Jackson. And he brought us some of the most beautiful hits, beautiful music as a kid. Now, believe it or not, yes, the Jackson Fives were no longer, but what made them still exist is Michael Jackson agreeing to go on tour with them every summer. I got a sound clip, and some of you probably saw the shorts of. I mean, this is just why you can't take a specific group of people and tear down this black man who's known for bringing world peace, right? Michael Jackson was known for bringing world peace. So you can't take a certain group. Oh, this is all white boys. No little white girls. No little black girls. No little black boys, even though he had white boys, white girls, black boys, black girls around him. But you can take out of that group, you can take nothing but little white boys and tell me and tell me, and they tell me, oh, Michael Jackson touched me. Oh, Michael Jackson did this and did that to me. I do not believe it. Why? What took you so long to come out and say this? What took your parents so long to come out and say this? Because if somebody touched my son the first day I find out, when he come back from the first trip from Neverland, he's never going back, and I'm going straight to the police. Why were there no police reports made? And then Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone, including him. All of you white boys, when Johnny Cochran put y'all on blast, all of you come back and recant your statements and say, I was coerced by my parents. Of course you were, because no little white girls came forward. No little black girls came forward. No little black boys came forward. So now you're trying to tell me that he loved all kids except for little white boys? Them the only ones that he gonna touch. Them the only ones he gonna put his hands on and hurt. No, my guy, it don't go down like that. Okay, and then we got too many instances in Michael Jackson's life where he spent time with other people, and this never happened, or they never saw signs. Michael Jackson and Chris Tucker were friends Chris Tucker's whole fucking career. I know y'all saw shorts, Chris Tucker, talking about Michael Jackson. We gonna play that clip just to speak towards Michael Jackson's character. We also have a clip from Emmanuel Lewis, who is he was, I believe, 4, 5, 6, and 7, around that age when he first met Michael Jackson. I believe 4 or 5. But he was a star. When Michael Jackson went through the stage of his life where he did the Pepsi commercial and got injured, Michael Jackson, Emmanuel Lewis said Michael Jackson was staying in a hotel. He really saw Michael Jackson as his best friend. Michael Jackson really saw kids as his best friends because he didn't have a childhood. He said Michael Jackson was staying in a hotel and they had the whole flow bought out. He called Michael and he's like, where you at, man? And Michael Jackson was like, I'm staying in a hotel. After he heard about Michael Jackson's Pepsi commercial incident, said it hurt him real bad. He said Michael Jackson said, I'm staying in a hotel. And Emmanuel Lewis said, man, no. As a kid, no, man, in a hotel. You're not staying in a hotel. You're staying with me and my mom. Michael Jackson said, okay. Yeah, see, kids didn't just stay with Michael Jackson through his career. Michael Jackson stayed with kids and their parents. And he truly was a kid in spirit. He was an angel. And he said Michael Jackson said, okay. Him and his mom hopped in the car and one of his friends, and they went to the hotel, and they said Michael Jackson came straight out, hopped in the car. And Michael Jackson stayed with them for a year or two until his whole body healed up. He said it was bad. Like Michael Jackson, he had the 3rd-degree burns and stuff. He said it was real bad. He was going through all different kind of pain, had pain medicines and stuff like that. Said it was real bad. And that's just to speak on Michael Jackson, right? And what Sony did to him to try to take his copyrights, which they were successful in, to gain ownership of the Beatle copyrights, which they were also successful in. Now you got UMG, Universal Music Group, doing the same thing to Drake, using Kendrick to put the pedophile name on Drake, take his career away from him and get his ownership of his copyrights. Because the reason why they feel like they can do it is because Drake pay a lot of attention to his fans that are kids. If he ever bump into them, if they ever win some kind of challenge that he's having with his album drops, he takes pictures with them. I remember one time he let a young lady give him some hair bows, and he put them in his head and took pictures with her at an event. But they'll still, crop out the background and make it look like it was a regular white wall in the background and say, oh, he's just too close to little girls. And then use somebody like Kendrick, who's darker than him, to try to persuade most of the black population that he's guilty of what they're saying, when he's not. These people are just greedy. Yeah, shout out to Corey. He said, MJ. Yeah, for sure. But we gotta protect Drake. He the closest thing to MJ. We gotta protect him. When it comes to stats, music, fame, riches, wealth, empire. When it comes to that, Drake is the same as MJ. The Neverland, they hated how rich Michael Jackson was. Michael Jackson ranch, Neverland Ranch alone, was over 3,000 acres. You never even heard of that shit. You never heard of 200 acres, 300 acres. You never heard of a person owning, even Boosie, 40 acres. Like, wow, he has a big ass piece of land. Nothing to compare to what Michael Jackson owned. 3,000 acres of fucking land. Oh, they was like, no, not wild animals that the zoos own. This nigga done went over there to Africa and bought up half the safari and Pride. Yeah. He done bought up half the. Let me get those two. Can I have those 2 giraffes? They're like, Michael, you can't just take animals like that. He's like, don't worry, I'll take care of your kid. I'll give you guys a school system. I'll build you guys a school. Build you guys some houses out here. Just let me have them. Man, shipping elephants and everything back over here. Lions, tigers, bears. I'm talking about as a teenager. That's how rich he is. As a teenager, he's owned damn near every animal the zoos own right now today. What it do, Micheal? Shout out my little brother, Meech, Al Capone, he said, I heard you, twin. Yeah, man. You know, I actually been to Neverland once since he died. Never got to go. Never got to go inside. They had shut it down. But just to see it, the gate and everything, because you can't see the house. You can't see the house from the gate. No, you can't see the main house, the Neverland house from the gate. You can't. All you can see is land and trees. It's Neverland on the gate, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was a king, for sure. Yeah, a king, for sure. In his eyes, to Prince's demise, he'd say he was the real Prince. He was the real Peter Pan from Neverland. The boy that never grew up. Yeah, Michael Jackson really never grew up. You know what I'm saying? He never did. So we're gonna start off with this clip, this audio clip from Chris Tucker. And it's just multiple instances and situations. Nothing but good times though that he had with Michael Jackson, encounters he had with Michael Jackson. They used to go out a lot together and shit like that, to the malls, to the movies and shit like that, hang out. That man loved Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson loved him. They loved each other, friendship. Why Chris Tucker never said nothing about him messing with kids? You know why? Because Chris Tucker knew it not to be true. He hung around Michael Jackson too much. Let's get into it, y'all.
I'm your phony urine, and drinking more water won't make me go away. You think I'm here because... You said you like it? What is your family's reaction?
All right, here we go, y'all. Chris Tucker talking about the good times he had with Mike. So y'all make sure y'all go and check out them shorts. Give me some likes. Give me some views. Let's go. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Give my voice back, and I appreciate my moderators for being there. Oh yeah, Michael Jackson was truly the moonwalking king.
What is your family's reaction to your success? What is your family's reaction to your success?
Oh, they all quit their jobs when they found out I was making $20 a year. They said, we rich, we rich. I was like, no, I'm rich, I'm rich. You get your jobs back before it's too late.
We all know that one person who somehow knows everybody. In Hollywood, that person is Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, Prince, a sitting president, and every name comes with a story too wild to make up. These are his funniest moments.
Hey, you forgot the bag. You forgot to cook the food. Forgot to pay the bag. Food wasn't no good. Keep it to yourself. Got the bag.
Ask Tucker about any name on earth, and the answer is always the same. It is never a question of whether he knows them, only how well.
He knows everybody. Like, I'm not even kidding. You can bring up a name. It doesn't matter if it's like Muhammad Ali, Paul McCartney, Jesus. You know, Chris is like, yeah, that's my boy. I'm like, what do you mean that's your boy? How do you know?
Yeah. You know everybody?
I kind of do, you know. And mean, Ben and my buddy Dave Chappelle, they always joke like, you know everybody, man, you're everywhere. Where are you right now? I'm like, I'm in Saudi Arabia with the king.
Oh my
I'm calling you right
God.
back. He's giving gifts away.
He's giving gifts away. Okay, how about like Stevie Wonder? You know Stevie Wonder?
I know Stevie. Stevie's, oh man, he called me.
Keep trying. You're gonna have to go way deep into Stevie Wonder.
I thought I was gonna be cool because he handed me my first Grammy, so I was gonna be like, my story's pretty good, Chris.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
no, but you know,
You know,
cool.
Muhammad Ali is one. He was like, yeah, I met Muhammad. I met Muhammad.
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali?
He said, you a funny mother tucker. I said, oh, Met Mandela. Met Mandela.
Oh my God.
Went to Africa, and he was like, where is Chris Tucker? I want him to meet my grandkids.
Now you know I want to be Chris Tucker.
His closest friendship was also his most famous. But catching a simple movie with Michael Jackson turned into a full operation every single time.
Do you ever go in public anywhere with Michael Jackson? Because what's that like?
You know what? We go to the movies sometime. We go to the movies. Both of us like going to the movies. So we go to the movies, but it's hard because Michael got to sneak in the movie right before it starts. So Michael come in there like with a ninja suit on. He's hiding and all black. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there, where's Michael? And then I turn around. He's like, hey, Chris. I'm like, oh, man. How long you been here? About 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Can I tell you? And all of a sudden, we watching the movie. He's the loudest person in there.
Really?
Yeah, he's watching the movie like, hee. I said, Michael, would you shut up before people see you? I'm sorry, it was funny, Chris.
Yeah.
One trip to the mall, Michael decided he could disguise himself. Out of every mask on earth, he picked the one guaranteed to draw a crowd.
We did one time. We went to a mall. We was out. Michael wanted to go to the record store or something, and he forgot he was famous. He was like, I gotta go to the mall. Go to the mall. And we finally said, Michael, you can't go in the mall, man. You forgot who you are. He said, well, let's go. And it was only thing was in the car was a Spider-Man mask. So Michael said, I'll put this on. We'll go in and we get. I said, Michael, you can't do that. Michael, he's like, no, he won't. Chris, it'll work. It'll work. We go in the mall, and he was getting away with it until people figured it out because I was with him, and he was like, Chris, is that Michael Jackson in that Spider-Man mask? No, that's Spider-Man. That's Michael Jackson. All of a sudden, the mall went crazy, and they had to scoot us out. You should have seen it.
Oh my God.
Off the TV. That came out of me. I started liking everything after that. I said, Michael, I like that Rolls Royce. That's a bad Rolls Royce. Not the old one, the new Rolls Royce, right there. He was like, you like it, Chris? I said, yeah, I like it. He said, you sure you like it? I said, yeah, I like it. He said, well, you better go buy one, because I ain't giving you my Royce.
People assume a friendship this big started some party. It actually started with the single most expensive decision Chris ever made, in midair.
Yeah, because I took a private plane to New York. Because Michael told me, when you finish rush hour, come see us. So I knew he was there. I called him before I went because I was going there for something else. And I kept leaving a message, Michael, I'm in New York. If you around, I'd love to see you. And I didn't hear anything. So I got on that same private plane, flew back to Los Angeles. I was done. As soon as I landed, I got a message from Michael Jackson's office, like, Michael, I want to meet you tomorrow in New York City. I was like, what? Right up to the captain's seat. And I said, take me back to New York. They said, well, is this going to cost? I said, I don't care. You got my credit card. Just take me back.
Prince was one of the most guarded private artists who ever lived. The version Chris met behind closed doors.
At Alliance Virtual Offices, we speak your language. We offer a professional workspace when you need it and
lived. The version Chris met behind closed doors was something else entirely.
So what's it, Len? What's he like when you're there?
He's cool because he found out I was there. Prince came over and said, hey, but he, Prince is shy, so I didn't know. I just heard this.
We don't want to hear about Prince. We want to hear about Michael Jackson. But yeah, that's Chris Tucker, and multiple different situations and times that he done been with Michael Jackson, and as you can see, Michael Jackson makes him happy. Michael Jackson entertains him. He said Michael Jackson wanted to go to the mall. They and the guy, he like, well, Michael Jackson go to the mall, then they think about it once they get there, like, hold on, nigga, you Michael Jackson, you can't go in the mall. They look around the guy and shit for something to disguise him with. And it's a Spider-Man mask. Man like, Chris, that, and the man like, Michael, that ain't gonna work. He like, yes it will, Chris. He like, no, nigga, people that be able to tell it's you. He like, no, Chris, come on, man, let's go. So he go in there with him with the Spider-Man mask on. He said, as soon as one person found out that there was Michael Jackson in it under that Spider-Man mask with Chris Tucker, they spread it the word so damn quick across the mall that them folks had to put him out of back door, get him out of back door. Because y'all know when Michael Jackson was found out to be in public places, mass crowds would show up and they would have to call fire department, paramedics. Yeah, people would faint from seeing him. Women and men. Boys and girls. People would literally faint from seeing this guy. Let's hear what Emmanuel Lewis said about Michael Jackson and his relationship and how it was to meet Michael Jackson and be around Michael Jackson. Then we'll get into a clip about Drake and compare the two.
That's Emmanuel Lewis. That's Emmanuel Lewis. One of my
your Michael Jackson years. How did you meet Mike?
I met him on the set of Thriller.
Again, y'all coming in, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We got Emmanuel Lewis as an adult now talking about his experiences with Michael Jackson. Now, he never said anything about Michael Jackson touching him. Michael Jackson sexually assaulted him. Young black kid, movie star. He stayed at Michael Jackson Neverland Ranch before Michael Jackson even had the Neverland Ranch. Michael Jackson stayed with him and his mom, Emmanuel Lewis and his mom, after the Pepsi incident where he got the 3rd-degree burns from doing the Pepsi commercial. Let's listen.
He was performing the iconic dance that was right there. The first time I met him, he was a zombie.
So let me ask you this. Did you get an invite to the Thriller video? Did you get an invite?
It wasn't by his invitation. It was some other people. They got it on the internet that he invited me. That's a bald-faced lie. I don't know why people make up lies. But it was one of my boys back at the time, and he's like, he just want to surprise me with something. And you know, it's a work night, it's a school night. So in my mind, HE double hockey sticks, I'm not going anywhere at night.
This is a picture of Emmanuel Lewis as a kid, as a star, when he first became Michael Jackson's friend. Michael Jackson was already a young adult. This kid and multiple other kids can say that they were never hurt by Michael Jackson. So why would I believe anything that the industry put out there about him? I won't. Yeah, we had a lot of kids stars back in our day. And Emmanuel Lewis, he did commercials. The one that he was known most for was the Life cereal commercial. You know, with him, it was him and a little white kid. They was friends. They came in the house, ran to the table out the backyard, got their bowls, pulled up the Life cereal. Yeah, I haven't seen Life cereal on the shelf anymore. I think they stopped selling it.
You know what I mean? Because I got to work the next morning. I'm thinking that's a no-fly zone. Ain't anything for me to think about. It ain't ever going to happen. Mom said, yeah.
Yep.
I'm like,
you already
what?
know it, Corey.
A school night, a work night? And you got me out tonight? oh, this is gonna be good. This is good. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be good, right? Clearly she knew what it was, but I didn't know what.
You already knew it, Corey. This man was 5 years old, already a movie star, already a TV personality. At 5 years old, he talking about, I'm like, what? A school night? A work night? Nigga, you gotta go to school tomorrow to kindergarten, and you gotta go to work after that. Yeah, they had a lot of opportunities for kids back in the day, and there were more opportunities than what they had for the adults.
It was. And so we went and we get out of the car. He had a Jeep, me on his shoulders. I'm riding on his shoulders. He was riding, and I started hearing the music. I'm like, that's Michael's music, and it's playing it awful loud. So we're in South Central LA somewhere on some dark, forbidden street where they're shooting the Thriller video. And all I could do was cue back, dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum. All right, sound like Michael. All right, what's this all about? Like, I really don't know where I am. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know whether we're in the studio or soundstage or what are we doing, but take it off. And I'm over the crowd. There's a big crowd there. I'm over the crowd, and I'm looking down, and I'm seeing Mike and all the zombies, and they're dancing, and they're coming our way. They're dancing this way. The camera's right there. John Landis is right there, and all the dancers are doing what they're doing. And I'm just thinking, wow, this is dope. What is this? Not ever knowing that it was going to be, what it was going to be, but it's dope enough as it is, face value, that is crazy. What an epic moment to meet somebody in hindsight. At the time, you don't know because nobody knew like that, you know what I mean? And I'm watching him do the infamous, all the iconic movement and everything. And I'm like, wow. So I can see while he's finished the dance sequence, he looks up because I'm like the only person on somebody's shoulders. Like, okay. So I see him go over to his assistant, Sherry. She comes over, says, Michael would like for you to come over to the trailer and he'd like to meet you. The Winnebago over there, he's standing in front of it. And I'm like, I'm with Mom and my boys here. Yeah, well, they can come later. My mom is right here, my boys are right there. They were like, no, we just want you right now. And I'm like, no. If my mom can't go, then I don't need to be there. You know what I'm saying? That's just the mentality I've had like all my life. So she went over, talked to them, and of course he waved them on. She's just being, doing her job, but it was really, of course, no problem. And we came over and he's like, are you afraid of me? And I just started laughing. I started giggling. I was like, come on, man, you Michael Jackson. You couldn't hurt a fly. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Come on.
Again, I'm from Brooklyn.
You know what I mean? We good, but he's such a nice guy, and he was so cool. He's like, man, I love your show. And he was a fan, and he saw my work, and I'm like, what? Man, me? Like, who knows me? He's like, come to my house. I want you to meet my mom, and my family.
Emmanuel Lewis said, I'm like, what, man? Michael Jackson. You couldn't hurt a fucking fly. He didn't say fucking, but he said you couldn't hurt a fly, like, because he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. This is what everybody know. But you telling me you still gonna believe the industry? You still gonna believe that? You still gonna allow them to turn down one of the great black men that ever existed? Well, let me tell you this. That's why there's no real such thing as black power, black supremacy. It doesn't really exist because every black man that makes it up to the top Not all of them, but most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. That make it to the top. We allowed the industry to tear them down and take everything and strip them of everything, and we stand right behind the industry instead of standing behind the black man. Michael Jackson was 50 when he died. And before he died, he said over the phone, he took multiple interviews saying that there's a group of people who want to kill me. We knew who the group of people was, but we never listened to them. Half of us didn't care. And now look at us. Michael gone. Michael was going around the world shaking hands with princes, kings, queens, and giving all black people a good name. And we let them tear it down. We let them tear it down. Think about it.
And so me and my brother, Chris, was coming to the house to go, check out, his crib, because we always heard that he had some zoo animals and, and I was really afraid of the snake. I came into the kitchen, his mom was there.
What I just tell y'all? That man say, because we always heard he had zoo animals. Shit, Michael Jackson had a zoo in his yard. In his yard.
And I gave her a big hug. Hi, Mom. How you doing? That kind of stuff. And there's music playing, in the speakers in the kitchen. And he was, kind of nice and funky. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of tagging around behind Michael because the music is dope. So I had to take a little time to work it out a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm dancing. But he can't see me because he's moving forward. But the music hits you. You just gotta, work with it. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, in the distance, coming toward me was Janet, and she's dancing too. I guess she already.
Everybody that's coming in, this is Emmanuel Lewis, talking about him and Michael Jackson's friendship when he was a kid. How Michael Jackson spent the year with them, living with him and his mom. After the Pepsi, after he got hurt in the Pepsi commercial and shit. 3rd-degree burns all over his body. Yeah, he didn't stay at home. He didn't stay in the hospital because he was such a high-profile person. He was staying in a hotel. Emmanuel Lewis found out and said, no, man, you coming to stay with me and my mom. And Michael Jackson actually stayed with them and recovered and lived with them for 1.5 years. Let's keep going, because he got a good memory of Michael did for him and his mom when they first encountered the situation. They thought it was Michael. It wasn't him. It was on some wrong address type shit. But they had already fell in love with it. You know what I'm saying? Michael stepped through it right then and there. Bam. Y'all heard what I'm talking about. Let's keep going.
Hit you just gotta, work with it. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, in the distance, coming toward me was Janet. And she's dancing too. I guess she already saw that I was, getting ready to, put some time in on that floor, right? And she started dancing and she started doing what I was doing. She's like, oh, yeah, see, you can do the snake. I said, yeah, I can do the snake. She's like, can you take it to the back? I'm like, yeah, I can take it to the back. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm doing the word, She said, oh, can you go backwards? I said, go backwards? She said, yeah, like this. And I'm like, okay, I can, okay. So we're in an immediate dance off right then and there, and that's how I'm meeting Janet. It's a dance off.
that was pretty much how we met. We met over exchanging dance moves.
Really?
And it was really good.
So did she rip you off then?
No, not at all. Michael did many times, but she, yeah, but she
really?
didn't.
Okay.
But she didn't, yeah.
What can you do? What would you like me to do?
The moonwalk.
The moonwalk.
Did you know that you can get your prep for free?
No, we didn't know. I hate that gay ass commercial. We didn't know.
This was during Mike's prime, though. This is Thriller. This is
12 Grammy.
Yeah, this is like, and you was there tonight. I think you was at the Grammy tonight. He
On
won.
American Music.
Were you there tonight? He won all the Grammys.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. That's another thing, right? So, you know, they gave Kendrick Lamar 6 Grammys in one night, I think. 6 Grammys in one night. Which put him 1 Grammy over the 12 Michael had. Right? I'm not sure. I gotta look it up. Okay? But I believe it was 12. Drake has the most. Right? Drake overpassed Jay-Z, Eminem, Kanye, all of them. But they gave him 6 Grammys. They gave Kendrick Lamar 6 Grammys after he put that message out that Drake was a pedophile. See, that's how they tore Michael Jackson down, by putting that false narrative out there because he was so close to his kid fans. Yeah, adults couldn't get no money out of Michael Jackson. They couldn't get no fame out of Michael Jackson. Only people got money and fame out of Michael Jackson was kids. Something he wasn't able to grow up being. He wasn't able to grow up being a kid. Most of his childhood, every single year, consisted of a tour around the world. He didn't have a childhood, right? So the same thing that they wanted to do to Drake was pull him out of that. Drake, Slick didn't have no motherfucking childhood. We know about Drake in Degrassi. We know about this. He's been in the stardom of fame his whole life. It died out a little bit, but Wayne rejuvenated that fame for him. Reinvented Drake and brought him out as a music artist. And we fell back in love with Drake right back over again. Then they bring Kendrick back in the forefront. See, man, this is what I don't like about Kendrick. He's a good artist, make good music sometimes. He has spent so much money in his career, right, on just living after about his first 5 years of just living. All the money we gave him, just living. He said, fuck the rap game and fuck my fans. Then he tried to re-enter the rap game and he couldn't. He was irrelevant. Then they give him a way to re-enter. Hey man, look, if you help us push this narrative that Drake is a pedophile, we have all different pictures, different type of pictures where he took pictures with fans that were kids, little girls. He took pictures with bows in his hair with these fans. Oh, but what you didn't say is that this fan won a day with Drake. And her parents are standing right there with the cameraman. And they witnessed everything that happened, and that's not the type of person Drake is. And Jay-Z too. He pushed the narrative. He helped them push the narrative by putting Kendrick Lamar as the headliner over the Super Bowl when Drake should have been the headliner over the Super Bowl. Drake got way more hits than this guy. Drake had way more hit singles this year than this guy. Way more achievements and accomplishments. And Drake been here with the fans and with us rocking, goddamn it, the whole 15 years. How many years of Kendrick Lamar's 15 years in this industry have he been rocking with us? The first 5. So why would we believe anything this nigga saying? We ain't seen him in years. Oh, he just come out as a goat from the graveyard. He reawakes from the dead. Kendrick Lamar. It's me, Kendrick, you guys. I got the robot rap going on for you guys. What? Kendrick, I'm from Memphis. I fuck with your rap sometime, but not all that robot shit. You can't get my attention by nigga sounding like Eminem. And you black. You can't get my attention like that, my nigga. You definitely can't get my attention when you come in the industry and I give you credit and you make it up to the top and then you stop. You don't release for 5 years. Tory Lanez has been in jail, innocent, right? Jay-Z trying to take his career away from him. But see, he don't know how strong that boy is. See, Tory, yeah, he got God in his life. Tory behind bars praying every day. Jay-Z tried to get Tory Lanez killed while he was in jail because they still allowing him to push the narrative, the true narrative, and it's getting some kind of traction. Tory Lanez got stabbed 17 fucking times out of 20-some jabs that this guy took at him. Like, dude, you don't even know me. How is this so personal for you? Because the person who got you to do it, you know them, Jay-Z. Yeah. It happened like that. Guess what he did, though? 6 months after he recovered in the jailhouse jailhouse hospital. He had already dropped the album after he went in a year after. He just dropped another 2 albums. Drake dropped 3. We said nobody will ever do it. Nobody did it. Nobody came close except for Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez dropped 2 albums at once behind bars, and he talks about the stabbing incident. talented. Talented. He hasn't let 5 years go by without giving us some more product. What we deserve for putting him on, spending our money. Yeah, but exactly what they did to Michael, they tried to do to Drake. We gotta protect him. Rest in peace, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And
My bad. Those of you who coming in, man, y'all like the video for me. Sub to the channel if you're not already sub. And again, this is Emmanuel Lewis talking about him and Michael Jackson's friendship as a kid.
I remember you going to the award shows with him.
Yes.
And what was that like, getting ready for an award show? MJ in his prime, like.
No, it was fun. It wasn't not much to think about.
It's funny because one of the times when we were at the Grammys, and he was like, "Okay, hold on to this," and I'm like, "Okay," but it was heavy. You know, I don't think I wore about 55 pounds soaking wet, right? So I'm like, that thing heavy, right? So I just kind of, I'm just put it underneath the seat. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we all did at the movie theater. You had popcorn, what you do? You put it under the seat, right? So it's underneath the seat, and we're chilling and whatever, and they're like, okay, come on, hurry up, we gotta go. So, okay, you know, we jump up, and we about to leave, and we get in the car. And he's like, okay, how many we got? This award, blah, blah. I'm missing 2 awards. Where's the awards? They're asking me where his awards are, right? And I'm like, oh, snap. They in the theater. You know, like they in the theater, and the theater's like cleaned out, everybody's gone. These awards probably gone by now, right? But we went back in the theater, and the seat was still was down, so no one saw it. And we lifted up the seat, and there's 2 Grammys right there.
Wow.
Grabbed those puppies and got back into the rows. And we also had some good parties with MJ. Like, we went to different clubs, and of course, everybody wants to see him dance, right? And enjoy.
That's crazy, man. The night the folk gave Michael Jackson 12 Grammys in one night for the Thriller album. That's damn near a Grammy a song. Yep, Jay-Z sold us out like a motherfucking meal. Yeah, that man had 12 fucking Grammys, and he held most of them, right? He gave Emmanuel 2, right? He counted his Grammys. When he get in the car, they got 10 Grammys. He like, hold on, I'm missing 2 of them. Everybody like, Emmanuel, where's the awards that he gave you? Where is the awards that? He like, oh, they under the seat at the theater. So them folk go back, and the theater damn near shut down. They damn near cleaned the whole theater, but they didn't check up under the seat. The seat was still let down. It hadn't popped up. And when they let the seat up, the cushion that they sit on, when they let it up, what happened? There go the 2 Grammys right there. Man, that's crazy. Grammys cost $1 million a piece. Real gold. Real gold, y'all.
Those are all great moments. I remember meeting his brothers in New York at the Tavern on the Green. And that's where we got a chance to meet his brothers, along with Don King.
Really?
And as well as Sophia Stewart, who's the creator of the Matrix.
Yeah.
And so we just really enjoyed meeting with him, the brothers and sisters. We just kind of embraced their family and our family as one. I'd hang out with Janet, I'd hang out with Jermaine and Tito. We went on the Jackson tour with all
Ever date one of the sisters?
No, but I did the first time.
Why not? Why didn't you?
LaToya?
Yeah, LaToya.
Because it was like family, you know what I mean? It was like family, it'd be like incest at that moment. But it was like we embraced him like family.
How I made this hoodie with a print and a tag in under 30 seconds. Just pick a blank, drop your design, and put.
We embraced him like family.
And then over time, you know, we'd hang out different times. And then when he got burnt from the Pepsi commercial, that he went straight to the Sheraton Hotel at the University. Everybody was acting strange that day, right? And nobody would tell me. Everybody, it was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, why? They just want to figure out if I knew, and if I knew, how I was gonna feel about it. We get home, my mom tells me to sit down. Michael's in an accident. Okay, how's he doing? What's going on? What happened? Well, he was burned and during the making of this Pepsi commercial. And then a few hours later, I get a call from Bill. Hey, Joker, he over at the Sheraton. Why don't you go see about him? So he went by a different name. So I called the hotel and asked for that particular name. You all right? What's happening? I'm like, what the hell are you doing in a hotel? What's going on? You know, I'm just gonna be staying here for a while. Nah, B. We're coming to get you. So I called him. He came right downstairs, jumped in the car, and from that moment on, he stayed with me for over a year.
He had like 3-degree burns or whatever.
Third degree, right?
Really, you know, it was really bad, and he was under a lot of medication.
So.
Me, my mom, my brothers, we all took him into our house, and so he literally recuperated for months, living in my condo when I went to work every day. And there was a huge, gigantic big screen TV came to our house, and this was kind of around the time of Christmas. Now, Mike was Jehovah's Witness, so he didn't really believe in, you know, doing anything for Christmas. But there was this huge, gigantic TV, and it came to our address, and it didn't have a name on it. So it was like, so we were always getting very, very excited. I mean, it was taller than I was. It was like the first big screen TV you'd ever seen. And so we always get excited. Mike, quit playing. You brought this TV to the house. It's like, no, I didn't bring it to these. We just thought he was just lying. You did bring that big screen TV to the house. No, I don't really know anything about it, right? So it had our address on it. It was like, wait a minute, what do you mean you didn't bring this TV? So it's like, you're messing around. So finally, I guess a week later, they finally realized that somebody else actually made him put the wrong address on this big screen TV at the house, and we were just getting all excited watching it.
You think Michael bought you the TV?
So we thought Michael, he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. You were lying. What are you acting like you don't know? You know you brought that big TV to the house. And so finally they got it back, and then
he bought you one.
And then he actually bought the
Did he really
yeah,
buy one? I was just joking.
Big screen TV to the house, and it was exactly the one that was there. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
He lived with us for about a year or more. I don't know exactly. Okay, so that is home footage. That was my home footage taken by my brother Roscoe on our probably brand new camera at the time. You know what I mean? It, you know, when cameras was like very rarely seen, home camera. That was home footage. That was in my house, in my condo. My brother would always take video clips of stuff. And Mike was, you know, he loved, you know, watching us do our different dance segments. We had 2 or 3 different dances that we'd always do, you know, at the house, chilling out. From one dancer to the next, and by far, he's probably one of the greatest dancers. Ask any of the greats, from James Brown to Fred Astaire to, you know, whoever. I mean, they all bow down and said that he was the greatest. So I'm gonna yield and say he was the greatest, right? So we would, and I was dancing all the time. You know, I danced, right? I tap dance, you know, we street dance. I mean, I did a lot of live performances before I even got to Webster. I mean, that's just what we did.
We go learn all the new dance moves. We take it back. Me and Mike would go dance, and we had like a combination that we would do. So it's like on YouTube somewhere, where we would go in and there's certain dance. We had more than one, but we had different dance moves that we would do, and we would come together like, you remember the dance move? No, do you remember the dance move? Okay, so all like different friends or different dancers, we all had our own sets.
So we had a routine. You know, when dancers get together, any of your boys get together and y'all can dance, we always had a routine. And so, you know, different music sparked different routine. So this is a routine that I kind of choreographed a little piece of it, and I stole his moves to put in the routine. And of course, I love Thriller very much. So that was some of that ones. That was some of Beat It.
It's a routine that Michael and I used to have. He's like, you used to always tease me. I used to, you remember the routine? Like, I remember. Do you remember the routine, right? So we would be like, yeah, I remember the routine. So we'd be like, all right, let's go 5, 6, 7, and we would do this.
And so we did that, and that was our routine. And he used to always remember, like he had a mind like an elephant when it came to routines. He remembered routines for like 15, 20 years ago. Like, I'm like, huh? And so he'd be like, you still remember the routine? And they're like such jokesters. They're such, like, if there's a prank somewhere in a 50-mile radius, that's probably going to be you. If there's a water balloon, I don't know how many water balloons fights I've had with them. All the security, the brothers, Mike, I don't know how many pillows fights we've had. I don't know how many pie fights we've ever had, fully closed on. It don't even really matter. Like, it can go down at any given time, at any given moment. Yeah, water balloons. Yo, boom, pow. What the? Oh, no, wait a minute.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Yes.
He used to drive himself?
Yeah.
Wow.
He used to drive me and my brother or himself or whatever in LA.
Yeah.
As long as nobody knows where we're going.
In there, right.
You know, it's not like a appointment. If there's an appointment, then yeah, you know, we got to call the boys.
Yeah.
But if there's no appointment and we can, you know, get in and get out, you know, whatever kind of store or gadgets, toys. And I don't mean it like Jekyll and Hyde is usually the good guy, the bad guy, but he's the Jekyll and Hyde where he's the normal guy and then he's the icon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With all due respect, there was two Michaels, okay? So there's the big one, the sensational mega star that we got a chance to see and everybody to love. And then there was my big bro, you know, we hanging out. So it was just that guy where we just, you know, talk. You know, I got 2 other brothers, so
we just had a lot of things in common, you know what I mean? He started off, at 5, something like that. I started off when I was 9, and you know what I mean? He, you know, does music and he's acting and all of this stuff. I'm doing it too. You know, he's got siblings. I got siblings. You know, mom's rocking it out. And, you know, he loved my mom. I love my mom. He loved his mom. And, you know, it's just a lot of similarities.
Perfect friendship.
It's kind of interesting that people don't realize that, you know, we're still people at the end of the day, and we still have similar things that we enjoy doing. We love comedy. We love going to movies. We love, you know, dancing. A lot of similarities.
Perfect friendship.
It's kind of interesting that people don't realize that, you know, we're still people at the end of the day, and we still have similar things that we enjoy doing. We love comedy. We love going to movies.
This is Michael Jackson and Emmanuel Lewis in Emmanuel's mom's bed. It's after the Pepsi incident where he was staying at the hotel and Emmanuel Lewis said, man, you're not staying in no hotel. They had him staying under another name because he's Michael Jackson, but for his recovery, they couldn't have him staying in the hospital. He said, man, you're not staying at no damn hotel. He didn't say damn, but he said, you're not staying at the hotel. Me and my mom, we finna come pick you up now, man. You're staying with us. And Michael Jackson stayed with them for a little bit over a year until he healed all the way back up. They was best friends. Do you see Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson was laying on one end of the bed, Emmanuel Lewis was laying in the middle, and his mom was laying on the other end of the bed when them folks used to go to sleep at night. There's multiple pictures out there, but if you notice Michael Jackson, what he got right there? He got a damn pillow in between him and Emmanuel. So nobody get any ideas. This is my friend. Michael Jackson was still 4 in his head. He was still, the kids that he was around, that he had around him, that he blessed to be able to live off his wealth. Like Emmanuel was just telling us, man, if we didn't have no appointment or no schedule and we could go to a mall or a store like a toy store or something like that and get in and get out without no one really noticing, too many people really noticing, Michael Jackson would take me and my brothers. Yeah, he would take them to the toy store and let them buy anything, get anything. Man, y'all go ahead. You get that. Hey, yeah, I'm finna go get this. You get that. And he'd buy them as much as they want. And they'd hurry up, get the fuck back out of there and go back to Emmanuel's house. Michael Jackson had a house. He didn't even want to be at home. That's before the Neverland Ranch. The house that Michael Jackson, we knew Michael Jackson had in the Michael Jackson movie, like when we was growing up, the real Michael Jackson played this movie with Angela Bassett as his mom, playing as his mom. The house that they was staying at, that she was always at, the big ass mansion, that was Michael Jackson. That's the first house Michael Jackson bought. And he actually moved in, his whole family, Tito, everybody was staying there. Joe Jackson, his mom, everybody was staying there. He recovering out the hospital, he don't even want to be around them folks. That show you how much they used him. That show you how much his parents sold him the fuck out. Yeah, he loved his mom. Everybody loved their mom. Even if she do make mistakes in life. But he didn't want to be around them. If he did, they would have been at the Neverland Ranch when he got there. 3,000 acres. I mean, they can all stay on the ranch and he never got to see them. He didn't even want them inside the gate. Michael Jackson didn't even want them folks around him because he was so fucking rich and they believed that they deserved a piece of his money. When the money didn't even matter to Michael Jackson. That's why he spent it so frivolously and all his fans that he could become friends with. All the kids that made him as big as he was. Not the adults, but the kids that made him as big as he was. You know, the adults did too, but he wasn't friends with adults because he never really became an adult. Yeah, he didn't want his family. Every time they was around him, they was asking for something. He'd go to brothers. You can just imagine. Oh, Mike got us a limo. Thanks, Mike. Whoa, Mike just got this new Rolls Royce. Mike, damn, bro. We your 5 brothers. You can't get us no Rolls Royce, bro. You got the money. You buying elephants and shit. Here you go, Mike. Man, y'all don't appreciate shit. In his head. I don't even think I've ever heard Michael Jackson curse before. Somebody tell me in the chat if you ever heard Michael Jackson curse before. I don't think I ever heard of it. I don't think there's a fucking recording nowhere that you can find of Michael Jackson saying, shit. I don't think there's one you can find Michael Jackson saying, fuck, man. Or God damn it. They took his butt whoopings most of the time. I don't think so. I don't think they took his butt whoopings most of the time, man. You remember the Michael Jackson movie when he was young and he tried to run? I think he tried to run away. He ran out the house because Joe Jackson was on his ass because he was the lead singer. I think Joe Jackson slapped him or something. Because he asked, could he go outside? Joe Jackson like, hell to the fuck no. It's the song Perfect. Like, yeah. Like, hell no. You can't go outside. Probably slapped him or something. And Michael Jackson ran out the house crying. Then it came out the mouth. Michael with the belt. Boy, get your ass back here. Mike was a slave to Joe Jackson's dreams. Yeah, not as far as being a singer, but Joe Jackson just wanted to be rich. He wanted to be known. He wanted his sons to get famous, but he be known for making his sons famous. Joe Jackson was like Ike Turner was to Tina Turner. Joe Jackson was like that to the Jackson 5s. Yeah, for real. Joe Jackson was an abusive ass motherfucker. That's why I believe Michael Jackson's mother felt so bad about her kids' upbringing because she allowed Joe Jackson to control it, and he was very abusive. Yeah, Joe Jackson was to the Jackson 5s like Ike Turner was to Tina Turner. How abusive he was to her. I mean, it was some fucked up ass, nasty ass shit going on in Ike Turner and Tina Turner's life. Like with the raping and shit, I'm not talking about that. He used to rape her. He used to beat her and then do her in the booth. She didn't want that. She's singing her lungs out. This nigga don't. It ain't good enough. Black eyes and shit on the stage. That's why she wore makeup and the big ass wigs, to take the attention away from her eyes, her face, her busted lip and shit, wearing shades and shit. Yeah, Joe Jackson, I don't fuck with that nigga at all. He was a bad person. He was a very bad person. He enslaved his kids to the music. He treated them like slaves anyway. And everywhere he went, he acted like he was bigger than them. Nigga, you didn't. Nigga, you didn't deserve the fame that they had. That's why you never had it. Then when they got that fame, you tried to take it away from them. You couldn't take it away from Mike. Couldn't take it away from Mike. Let me see. Yep. And you trying to do it.
And if you miss a step, expect.
Where's my video? Okay, there it is.
We love, dancing. Similar upbringing in certain ways. He's from Indiana, I'm from Brooklyn, and it's really cool.
How is it moving around with somebody where everywhere you go, it's people passing out and shit? Like,
yo, I'm not even gonna lie, that's dope. That was some of the best comedy in the world to me.
Cause I know he would laugh too, right? Like, he a real one. I know he probably looking like.
Let
me see how many I can make pass out today.
He was so sensitive that he would be concerned. I hope they're okay. They're gonna be all right, aren't they? Should we turn around? No, we ain't turning around.
Hey, that's good. And that speaks to Michael Jackson character again. See, Emmanuel, he was younger. He said, man, going everywhere with people just passing out, he said it was some of the most biggest comedy to him. Like, it was some of the funniest things. Hey, Peanut, it was some of the funniest things. That people would pass out, to Emmanuel. He was a kid. He was like probably 5, 6, 7. His whole childhood, really, with Mike. He said, it was funny to me. The guy said, I know Mike, he a real one. I know he laughed too. Emmanuel said, no, I mean, he's such a good person. He would be more concerned about the person. He'd be like, are they okay? Are they okay? We gotta go back. He said, no, we not going back, Emmanuel. Emmanuel crazy as hell. I gotta hear this shit again.
Dancing, similar upbringing, and he's from Indiana, I'm from Brooklyn, and it's really cool.
How is it moving around with somebody where everywhere you go, it's people passing out and shit? Like,
yo, I'm not even gonna lie, that's dope. That was some of the best comedy in the world to me.
Cause I know he would laugh too, right? Like, he a real one. I know he probably looking like. Let me see how many I can make pass out
He
today.
was so sensitive that he would be concerned. I hope they're okay. They're gonna be all right, aren't they? Should we turn around? No, we ain't turning around. You about to get bugged. You about to get all of us bugged.
Brooklyn. They be all right.
They're gonna be all right. They with friends. They with folk. You know what I mean? They ain't by themselves. They're gonna be all right. You keep it moving because you gonna make it worse.
Listen, when you're with the king of pop, okay?
Yeah.
And you're trying to go anywhere. We've been kicked out of malls.
Yeah.
You know, we've been kicked out of movie theaters. We've been kicked out of everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's of no relevance.
But let me ask you, so would MJ wear like a mask or disguise, or he would just go in as MJ?
You know, we always had a good fun time. So he would wear his mask, which was hilarious to me. Or, you know, sometimes there are more elaborate stuff that he would do. So, but he would dress down and he would wear some corduroys but then he'd put on his white socks and penny loafers. And I'm like, yeah, nobody's gonna know who you are.
His disguise, okay, was hella funny to me, okay, because he would have a fedora on with the mask on, white socks, and penny loafers. I'm like, yeah, a 5-year-old could call you out on that one. I mean, like, for real, like, you understand? Like, what kind of mask is that? Like, who walks around in a fedora in the summertime? Like, give me a break, guy. Like, are you serious? Later on, he got more creative with it and got the false teeth and, you know, the different wigs. He had a ton of them. He had old man, he had lady, he had a young kid. He had a more, like, finally, you know, I guess he spoke to different cats and they was able to hook him up with so many different looks. Fake eyelashes and mustache and, you know, beards and...
But what about when you at the top of your game and Michael Jackson is at the top of his game and y'all out there kicking it and everybody's watching it and going crazy? What was going through your mind at that time?
You know what? That's a reality check right then and there, okay?
Yeah.
When you're around somebody that is like the huge rock star icon, you know, I know I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And then you, like, it's really fun because, you know, chilling with them and kicking it and whatnot, and it's just like seemingly to be a regular guy.
Right.
Okay? And then he will pop a clutch on your monkey behind. Okay? He pops that clutch.
Yeah.
Opens the window, stops streets.
Yeah.
And it then becomes the icon. And then he closes the window. I'm like, what we eating today? Right? And so it's really like, you know, it's crazy. Can I drive you to McDonald's?
Hey, he said, man, it'll be cool because, you know, you sitting there and you chilling, right? And I'm gonna post this. I'll post the video to this audio clip on the community page so you all can watch it again later on if you want to, or revisit it. But don't forget sometimes to revisit our lives and stuff like that. So he said, yeah, they would be chilling. He'd be like, man, it's so cool chilling with somebody who I believe is way bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? And then he popped the clutch on you. Popped the clutch on you, trick ass, and let down the window. All Michael Jackson had to do was let down a window and put his head out the window. And here come I'm talking about everybody. They had a red light. It's just turning green. He done let the window down, put his head out there, jump. Everybody around notices Michael Jackson. They running towards, stampeding towards the car. And then he rolled the window up and turned around like it's normal. Like, hey, what you want to eat? You want some McDonald's? Like, what we eat? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, seeing that type shit, people caring that much about somebody, it really, like, it would excite you. At the same time, it could excite you, it could scare you. But for it to happen so many times and it be a normal to you, and this is a big star right here next to you, this young man that you call your friend, Emmanuel Lewis, but he, in his eyes, he's not as big as you. You're like rock star big. This shit shocks him every time. It's, different moments, different emotions every time. But Michael, it doesn't even get to him anymore. Like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. Okay. And what you gonna eat? Well, they got fries. Okay. All right, let's go. Like, I remember coming in and Mike was working on that deal. Mm-hmm. He's working on that $1 billion deal of trying to make sure he get the publishings and all of that. You guys know the catalog stuff.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there. Y'all listen to this. Now, what he's talking about right now is, he said he remember coming around. See, Michael Jackson bought the Beatles publishing this shit at a very young age. Let me show. See if y'all can see it. He bought the Beatles publishing this shit at a very young age, right? Michael Jackson was still a kid. There you go. Michael Jackson was still a fucking young adult. He might have been 21 or 22 or something like that. I'm not seeing it. No, he might have been like in his late 20s. He was still young as fuck though. No, hold on. Let me count back. 50. Yeah, 1964. He was still a young nigga. He was like in his early 20s or his late teens. 1964. Come on, man. That's crazy. 1964. He spent $40 million. Where he get it from? See, Sony them when thinking about the Beatles back in 1964. You know why? Because Michael Jackson existed. They was thinking about him. They weren't thinking about the Beatles, y'all. They was thinking about Michael, while Michael was thinking about the Beatles. Jackson, y'all saw the headline. Jackson pays $40 million for Beatles catalog. You heard Emmanuel Lewis. He said, everybody know about it. Michael Jackson was working on that $1 billion deal. $1 billion deal. By acquiring the Beatles catalog. His money team told him, hey man, it could be billions behind this if you could acquire it. He made the headlines of the newspapers. I told y'all. Sony wanted that. And they wanted his catalog. He wouldn't sell his catalog. Yeah, they was trying to make him go broke by paying, when he pay his taxes, 3,000 acres. Neverland was not a business. It was his home. He didn't charge those kids for the amusement park that he built on those 3,000 acres for them to have rides, roller coasters. He pays for animals, his animals, to eat every single day. Do y'all know how expensive it is to take care of horses and cows? What if you got 1 or 2 horses? You know how expensive it is? This nigga had 2 giraffes, 2 elephants, a tiger, a lion. No, people don't think about that. Do you know how much it is to maintenance a roller coaster? Do you know what theme parks spend to maintenance children rides to make sure they're child safe? No, those rides and shit have to be maintenance monthly by a contracted company that actually is licensed, because roller coasters, roller coasters and theme park rides are safety hazards if they're not maintenance. No, even if it's not a problem with that roller coaster, it still need to be maintenance by a licensed company, a company that's licensed to maintenance these type of machines, because that's what it is. It's a machine that's a thrill ride. That's what type of machine it is. It's a thrill ride, so it thrills you. And people experience all different kind of thrills. Thrill of shock, thrill of happiness, thrill of sadness, thrill of fear. How many of you have ever been on a roller coaster and when you first on it, you like, yeah, boy, I'm finna do it. But you didn't realize how big it was and how long the ride was gonna be. And when you got halfway through, you was like, this ain't the one, I'm ready to get off. And that motherfucker got to the edge of the top. You dropped your ass down and then went back up to the top, and it's taking a long time, and you're like, no, I don't want to be on here no more. And then dropped your ass down again. It's got 3, 4 hills, then it's got and on the first hill, you was like, no, I don't want to be on here no more. That motherfucker went back up real slow. You like, no, can we stop it? No, you can't stop it and go back, my nigga. They'll drop you again. You like, no. They'll take you back. They'll drop you again. You done threw up. They'll take you back. They'll drop you. You like, what did I do? Yeah, that motherfucker gotta be maintenance every month. You know how many theme parks having maintenance roller coaster rides and thrill rides, and one of the seats or the carriage to the roller coaster, like some roller coasters are big and very fast. The faster it is, the lesser cars it have on it. So you got a roller coaster with only 6 to 12 cars. Don't get on it. 6 to 12 2-seater carts, right? Then you got the ones with just like 6 or 4. Them the ones that I don't get on. Now you just got a pocket and it's 6 of us or 4 of us on it. You know what I'm saying? No. It's like got the seats that rotate. So that's why it's only 6 or 4 people. Like when it take you in the loop, your body rotates, right? To where you're like this, you're upwards, but the car is above you. And as it spins you around, so your body is spinning around in the seat and going back and going forward as it's spinning around, going through the loops, as it's going up, going down. Your body is constantly jerking back and forth, but it's going fast as hell. Man, they'd have had some of them just to malfunction and the car come from come from the tracks. Those carts are supposed to be magnetized. And each one of them is supposed to be able to hold at least 1,000 pounds. That's why if a person is overweight, right, they most likely can't even get on there, just like a kid that's too short. Because you got the anchor that comes over you, right? And a kid can slip up out of that. Their head can slip down in between, you know what I'm saying? So they can't be on it. Or if you got the one that's just got the bar that comes down in front of you, oh my goodness, the zipping pimping was like that. It had no loops, but it had hard turns. It had the big ass heels. It take you down. Your body is jerking. There's no seatbelt in there. I said, this hoe dangerous as hell. I'm never getting on this motherfucker ever again. Talking about this was Elvis' favorite ride. No wonder it was Elvis' favorite ride. The nigga was on dope. The nigga was a real rock star. He did cocaine. That nigga get on that ride and it's a thrill of excitement. I got on that ride, nigga, and my body was sliding on the seat and shit. I said, hell to the fuck now. I said, get me off this motherfucker. Man, I couldn't get off that motherfucker. Yeah, I couldn't get off that motherfucker. That motherfucker went up. My body went back right. In the bar, it be wiggling and shit. When that motherfucker went down, nigga, my ass came off the seat a little bit. Nigga, I held on to that motherfucking bar so tight, I said, man, when I get off this motherfucker, I'm never getting back on this bitch again. Why do people get back in the line? Somebody gonna flip off that motherfucker and die. I'm talking about that motherfucker was so scary, I said, never. Never. You can't put me back on You couldn't put me back on that motherfucker to save my life. I'd be dead right now. If that's how we save our life from the zombies, by getting on a roller coaster, the zipping pimping. Hell no. My life won't be saved because I ain't hopping on that bitch. Yeah, they sold it. Memphis sold it to a theme park in Texas. I said, there's some people in Texas feel the same way I feel. After a ride on that motherfucker, you don't want to get back on it. Yeah. Oh, stuck at the top of the Ferris wheel. Especially them junts, them old school junts. Them old school junts, the seats rock. It's just you and somebody else in this seat, and that motherfucker constantly rocking. And when people getting off, yeah, you at the top stuck. That shit don't even feel good. I'm so glad they got the new junts. The niggas like each carriage is enclosed with a bench on each side of the inside, and it's the glass mirrors around you and the door on one side. So y'all walk in the door, that junk closed. It got the Bluetooth speakers like the junk at the Icon Park in Florida. It's got the Bluetooth speakers like in the corners of the wall at the top. And then they got like an iPad in each one of them junts, or some kind of tablet where you can like pay to play music and shit, you know, hit your debit card and pay to play music. Hey, daddy baby. Hey. And then my son, yeah. Yeah, but I like the newer Ferris wheels better than my old joints. Boy, nigga used to be like, man, I don't want to do this shit no more. Every time I go to the top, see just a rock. That motherfucker loud as hell. You like, damn, man, what the fuck? This supposed to be romantic?
And I came in.
Let me go back.
He pulls that clutch.
Yeah.
Opens the window.
$1 billion deal. Here it come.
Stop streets.
Yeah.
And it then becomes the icon. And then he closed the window. I'm like, oh, what we eating today? Right? And so it's really like, you know, it's crazy. Can I drive you to McDonald's?
Yeah.
Okay. And what you gonna eat? Well, they got fries. Okay. All right, let's go. Like, I remember coming in and Mike was working on that deal.
Mm-hmm.
He was working on that $1 billion deal of trying to make sure he get the publishings and all of that. You guys know the catalog stuff.
Yeah.
And I came in and he was like, and he's on speakerphone and he's doing all of this. And you know, at the end of the day, it's for legacy. You know what I mean? It's just an awesome experience, you know, to be in the presence of someone that is such a perfectionist, you know, and that is unseen. I mean, there's so many different aspects of Michael. I mean, there's the shy Michael, there's the religious Michael, there's he's given more to people in the side of the non-profit world than any entertainer in the history of entertainment.
Do you remember the last time you seen him? Both of you guys.
I saw him at rehearsal for the concert.
Yeah.
When I heard that it was called "This Is It," I immediately just was bawling my eyes out because I knew, unlike anybody else, his album titles was prophetic.
Really?
And I knew how much energy that he used to put in just naming an album. And all the concepts and the feeling and what it means. So when I heard "This Is It," I was like, oh no. And he told me that before that album was even done, that, you know, something was made.
Do y'all hear this? Emmanuel Lewis, he said when he was, the last time he saw Michael was when he came to the rehearsal. The rehearsal for his tour, "This Is It." He said he was crying his eyes out. He used the term of bawling my eyes out. He said, because I know, as Michael Jackson friend, like how much time he put into coming up with the names for his albums and his tours. And he said, if Michael Jackson is saying "This Is It," he said, and I was like, oh no, like crying. You heard me? Shit damn near finna make me cry. Just listening to him. Like, man, look, Michael Jackson, he like, it's some, not just, oh no, it's like, the tour is called "This Is It," this is the end. But the shit Michael Jackson would tell his friends, the ones that's closest to him in his last days, of how a group of people was trying to kill him. A group of people. Like, he know the shit that Mike used to hit on and shit like that, then it could mean multiple. This is it. This is the end of the album. This is it. This is what I've been telling y'all about. They're trying to take me out. This is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had multiple different meanings behind what Mike felt. But the man said, I was like, oh no. When he was at the rehearsal, and he saw the title of the tour over Michael Jackson's head on the stage, he started crying and was like, oh no. And this is him as an adult now. He's, they grown now. Yeah. Emmanuel Lewis. You know what I'm saying? He in his 40s. Late 30s, early 40s. No, he probably around my age, 35, 36. I give him that. He like, oh no. Come on, man. I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit so y'all can hear it again from when he first said it. Listen.
I saw him at rehearsal for the concert.
Yeah.
When I heard that it was called "This Is It," I immediately just was bawling my eyes out because I knew, unlike anybody else, his album titles was prophetic.
He was crying.
And I knew how much energy that he used to put in just naming an album.
How much
and all the concepts and the feeling and what it means. So when I heard "This Is It," I was like, oh no. And he told me that before that album was even done, that something might go down or whatever. But
he told him that's what Emmanuel Lewis was talking about. Michael Jackson told him something might go down before this last album in this tour. So when he came in and read, because Michael Jackson wanted to be at the rehearsal, when he came in and read "This Is It" over Michael Jackson's head, he like, oh no. Crying. He like, okay, he 55 now. Well, yeah, he 55 now. But I'm saying, like, when Michael Jackson, 20 years ago, when Michael Jackson was, when he was in this situation, and Michael Jackson invited him to his last rehearsal for "This Is It," you know what I'm saying? He was crying like, oh no, because Michael Jackson had already told him that something could be going down. Sony then was trying to kill him. But Emmanuel Lewis couldn't say that. He could just say, because Michael Jackson Michael had already told me. You know what I'm saying? That something could be going down.
It's because you hear it, don't mean you accept it. Just because you know it, don't mean you ready for it. You know what I mean?
The right workspace sharpens your focus and fuels your productivity. You are investing in a top-tier, fully equipped environment. Your mail delivered to a real...
Yeah, for sure. Hey, yeah, the Webster show was fire. I was telling folks in the chat earlier, I was like, he was also well known for the Life cereal commercial. We used to have the cereal called Life. He did the commercials for them folk. Yup, him and the little white boy. The folk come out the backyard, sit at the table, pour up the Life cereal. Yeah, we had a lot of cereal commercials back in the day. A lot of people probably don't remember that junk though. But the Webster junk for sure.
I want to know, how was your friendship with Michael when he started getting all of the allegations against him, and how was he dealing with that at that time? And as a friend, how were you able to kind of help him through it?
You know, he was very upset, you know what I mean? Something that that is like near and dear, you know, performing for the kids. So to see something that he loves so dearly and you try and turn that against you. It's kind of like you having kids.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now they're turned against you and you're being accused of something that.
Nah, man, this his best friend. He was a kid when Michael Jackson was an adult. He slept in his mom's bed with Michael Jackson. He like, man, what? Why would they lie about some shit like that? Because he was around Michael Jackson as a kid at the same time that Macaulay Culkin nigga and all of them was. These folks, as he grew up and Michael Jackson advanced in his career and he constantly invited kids, this man was still able to come over to Michael Jackson's house. This was one of his best friends from the very beginning of his career. That man was like 5. And Michael Jackson was like 18, 19, 20, 21. When they was first friends. How old was Michael Jackson when he did the Thriller video? That's when they first became friends. That's when he first met Michael Jackson. If you've been here since earlier, you got to hear it at the beginning of the audio clip. Yeah, that's when he first met Michael Jackson. So however old Michael Jackson was when he first met him, I think brother like 5 or 6. He was doing the Webster show at the time. And he was going to school. But nobody was bigger than Mike back in them days. Let me let y'all hear that again. And this is how you know that there wasn't Michael. That's the type of person he was. They just wanted the Beatles catalog and they wanted Michael Jackson's catalog. They wanted Michael Jackson to sell his catalog from the get-go. Once he started getting tired of going on tour, they like, nah, nigga, you gonna give us some kind of money. You gonna make us some kind of money. I don't want to do it. Make me do it. And folks said, all right, we'll make you do it. Hey, call up some of our white friends, only ones with boys, and tell them we need them. Yeah, and they tried to tear my nigga down. Rest in peace to Michael Jackson. Yeah. Rest in peace to Michael Jackson, for sure. Let's hear it from Emmanuel Lewis himself. Let's hear it.
I want to know, how was your friendship with Michael when he started getting all of the allegations against him, and how was he dealing with that at that time? And as a friend, how were you able to kind of help him through it?
You know, he was very upset, you know what I mean? Something that that is like near and dear, you know, performing for the kids. So to see something that he loves so dearly and you try and turn that against you. It's kind of like you having kids.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now they're turned against you and you're being accused of something that you have no earthly, there's nothing in your being that will allow you to even think the way that they're even talking. So to have something come against you that you love kids, because he didn't have a childhood. My childhood was a little bit different too. That's why we had so much stuff alike. Because I started off early and he started off, you know, even more earlier. You know what I mean? And so
he was probably the biggest adult kid I had ever met. I mean, I can only imagine what it was to meet Walt Disney himself. I mean, this is a grown man playing with Mickey Mouse. Like, everybody acted like Michael was strange. Walt Disney created Donald Duck and Daffy Duck and Mickey Mouse, and he had amusement rides, he had dolls, and he walking around with ears on his head. I'm like, if you don't understand where his inspiration comes from, then maybe you would never understand Mike at all.
It was horrible, you know what I mean? Because, you know this guy is great. You know he's got a heart of gold. And, you know that he wouldn't do any of those things that people were talking about.
Martin Bashir documentary, he was pressuring you to try to divulge if anything that happened to you.
Yeah, they're always trying to, put words in my mouth for trying, make crazy stuff happen.
We always had a great time, laughed, tell jokes. No one really seen that side of him.
They have stayed close for years, and Lewis was quick to defend his friend last year after the airing of Martin Bashir's searing documentary.
None of that, any of that makes any of it the truth. I don't get it, and I don't think I ever will.
What did I tell y'all? I said he was around Michael Jackson as a kid when they were saying that all of this shit was true and happening, and they was trying to make him say it too. He said none of that is true as a kid. But see, ain't nobody believing him because they got enough little white boys to say, yeah, the parents, them was the parents they saw. His attorney said it. Even the white attorney said it. Old white man, he said, man, they see that they can get some money right now. You know why he said that? Because they had so many other kids, white girls, they had white boys, black boys and black girls that stood up with Emmanuel Lewis and said in court, no, but they didn't show us them videos. Now, when they air that shit on TV, they only show us the white boys that said that it happened. The same ones that Johnny Cochran made recant their statements. Yeah, see, this was done by Sony Records. They took them out. And I'm telling y'all, they gonna try to do Drake the same way. This is the start of it. That's how they did Michael Jackson. They did it a little bit, right? He beat it. They're like, oh, we can try you 2 more times, my guy. It's gonna take everything you have, or it's gonna kill you. Then we'll have the Beatles catalog and your catalog. They did it again. Johnny Cochran beat it with Macaulay Culkin in them. Made them recant their statements. Then when Johnny Cochran died, they came at him again. They killed him. Plus they had got in with the black doctor. Yeah, they used us to take us out. Be demons and snakes in disguise. They used that black doctor. And he know it. And he kept it a secret. Think you should just let them kill you. We would have been happy as black people if you would have came out and told the truth and shut all this shit down. But you didn't. And now look, we without another king. Rest in peace to Michael Jackson. We know now, and we gonna know a little bit more too. Oh God.
He's always been a friend, not just of me, but my whole entire family.
We just had the best times. He's always been nothing but a great friend. It was just kind of weird. And I'm like, dude, anything I can help, just let me know when you can come to court. And it's like, I'll ask. And then it was like they wouldn't let any more people come to court on his behalf. Now all the news came out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the time has gone by that all the information has come out, all the lies that was told, all the money bag grabs was, is out there now. After he died, a few of those people came forward and said, it never happened. We didn't do anything. We was pressured by parents, by this or that, and they needed money real bad, and they figured that was the way to get at them. And there's people out in the press that actually came clean, but it's a little late. Thanks a lot. know what I mean? You put them through hell, and
all of that is out there now. And there's still people still believing nonsense, and the truth is finally out. So imagine being accused of something. There's just something, you know, our generation and our people understand being accused of something. And how do you even prove you're innocent of something you're completely not guilty of?
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you do that?
Yeah. How was Michael supposed to do that? Baby Blocstarr. How was Michael supposed to prove that he innocent for something that he's not guilty of? And you had all of these people, he said, still believing it even after he's gone.
Man, playing with Mickey Mouse, like everybody acted like Michael was strange. Walt Disney created Donald Duck and Daffy Duck and Mickey Mouse, and he had amusement rides, he had dolls, and he created walking around with ears on his head. I'm like, if you don't understand where his inspiration comes from, then maybe you would never understand Mike at all.
it was horrible, you know what I mean? Because, you know this guy is great. You know he's got a heart of gold. And, you know that he wouldn't do any of those things that people were talking about.
Martin Bashir documentary, he was pressuring you to try to divulge if anything that happened to you.
Yeah, they're always trying to, put words in my mouth for trying, make crazy stuff happen.
We always had a great time, laugh, tell jokes. No one really seen that side of him.
They have stayed close for years, and Lewis was quick to defend his friend last year after the airing of Martin Bashir's searing documentary.
None of that, any of that makes any of it the truth. I don't get it, and I don't think I ever will. It's always been a friend, not just of me, but my whole entire family. We just had the best times. He's always been nothing but a great friend. It was just kind of weird, and I'm like, dude, anything I can help, just let me know when you can come to court. And it's like, I'll ask. And then it was like they wouldn't let any more people come to court on his behalf. Now all the news came out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the time has gone by that all the information has come out, all the lies that was told, all the money bag grabs is out there now. After he died, a few of those people came forward and said, it never happened. We didn't do anything. We were assured by parents, by this or that, and they needed money real bad, and they figured that was the way to get at them. And there's people out in the press that actually came clean, but it's a little late. Thanks a lot. You put them through hell, and all of that is out there now. And there's still people still believing nonsense, and the truth is finally out. So imagine being accused of something. There's just something, our generation and our people understand being accused of something. And how do you even prove you're innocent of something you're completely not guilty of?
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you do that?
Open a Chime checking account in 2 minutes, and we'll spot you a...
They tried to take our, after they took our boy out, they tried to take his name. You know what I'm saying? Beat his name up. Beating his name up. Right. Yep. Them folk wanted a payday. Emmanuel Lewis said, and it was people that came out afterwards and said that it wasn't true and that they sorry. He said, Emmanuel Lewis said, oh, you're sorry? Well, it's too late now. Thanks a lot. Like, you done already fucked his name up. Got people that wasn't even there believing what the fuck you said because you were there. but you know it didn't happen. You know it didn't happen. Yeah. Like I said, R. Kelly, he was guilty of having sex with some of those teenage girls. I said, but when I saw the video of the girl that they said was 15, I think I was 15, and she looked it grown as hell. She looked it to me like she was an older female. So if she got a fake ID, her body was advancing too fast. Her parents put her in there for some money too. They wanted some money too. But when they seen that it was a video recording, it embarrassed them. Plus they knew that their daughter wasn't no motherfucking 21, 22, 24, whatever the fuck her ID said. And I believe some of his security guards knew too. Yeah, they was in it too for the money. They knew they could drain them bank accounts. R. Kelly had too much money. He had too much fame. I told y'all he wrote some of Michael Jackson's songs. So when I see R. Kelly in an interview, what made me know he was innocent far as he said, man, he thought they were of age. He thought the female was of age. And then her parents got into it. I said, when that nigga got in the interview and he started talking about it and he was crying, and then the woman, she was still aggressive with him in the interview. That nigga started crying and yelling, 30 years? I gave y'all 30 years of my career. I gave y'all 30 years crying hard as hell. And this is how y'all do me? I said, damn, for real, R. Kelly, they did you like that. I said, do what they did to Michael Jackson. Yeah, the man that you wrote a couple of songs for. The girl is mine. And the goddamn girl is mine. It might say the goddamn girl is mine. He ain't say the goddamn. I told y'all, I don't think you ever heard Michael Jackson or got a recording of Michael Jackson cursing. He said, he probably said, R. Kelly, can you change that line right there? I don't like that word. What word? That word. You want me to say? Man, Michael Jackson was a peaceful ass soul, man. I mean, you ask me, in history, do I know any black man that changed the world, even just a little bit, for black people and made it better? For black people in America to be able to go around the world anywhere and be respected. It wasn't Martin Luther King. It wasn't Malcolm X. It was Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson brought world peace, not just in America, not an American peace, world peace. Go back, look at some of his videos. Look at We Are the World. Look at that music video. See how many different countries around the world was he standing with their kids, and all of them singing We Are the World. We are the children. Now, this man right here was like Dr. Umar said, he was a prophet. And once he fulfilled his mission for God, God was like, come on, son, come on home. So we can't be mad that he gone. What we gotta do is keep Michael Jackson's name alive and protect the next closest thing to Michael Jackson. Next closest person that they'll do the same way if we let them. Drake. They'll do Drake the same way if we let them. Latoya Jackson. I gotta highlight this one. Latoya Jackson. Let me clear my throat. You fucked up. You fucked up in the head. You ugly as hell. You don't look like none of the Jacksons. You don't even look like Janet and Michael. You don't even look like Tito and them with the round noses. You don't look like nobody. You look like a skeleton. For you to come out and say some shit about your brother like that because he cut your greedy ass off just like he did Tito and them. And for Janet, for you to even let her do some shit like that and he never cut you off, we could tell you was money hungry at the funeral, standing up there behind his daughter while she talked, rubbing in her hair and shit. Yeah, I'm gonna become so close to her that she always have my back. No, she won't. And when she get older, you'll know, because her dad let her know. He let her know who y'all was. He let all his kids of age know who y'all was. Yeah, y'all never protected him. Latoya Jackson, Janet Jackson, Tito, all of y'all. Y'all never protected Michael Jackson. And because he cut y'all greedy asses off and just took care of mama, y'all got mad. But all of y'all was at the funeral trying to get a piece of one of his kids. It don't take all y'all to stand up there behind her while she's talking about her dad. But now y'all want to be seen on the camera, on the forefront. It's not about y'all, it's about the man in the casket. Y'all didn't care about Michael Jackson. We was his real family. America and the rest of the world was his real family. Everybody that stood behind him and didn't give no fuck what they was lying about. Yeah. I'm gonna find the clip. We probably go over that tomorrow about Michael Jackson. We got the interview from Dick Gregory, where Dick Gregory was like, Michael Jackson called him and wanted him to come over and be with him because he said that they was trying to kill him. The doctors in there was trying to kill him at the house. And he said that he was busy. He hated that he was busy and he couldn't be with Mike because the next day he heard it on the news the next morning that Michael Jackson was dead. He said Michael Jackson called him and told him. Then they took Dick Gregory out. That's how they do it. Like, nah, he's saying too much. Get him. He's saying too much.
If you're struggling with depression and not feeling the comfort and peace that you need, I'm
Click on the right one. Nah, that's not the right one. Give me a second. trying to find out bullshit.
Do you feel like you are successful?
Yes, I do. I always want more. I'm, for some reason, like ready to go back and start working on new music tonight, even though everyone around me needs.
This came out like last week.
Yeah. Everyone around me needs a breather for sure, but.
But dude, you said you wanted to have $25 million by the time you're 25. You did that. Now you say you want $250 million by the time you're 29. I mean, this is, given the modest way you grew up, what does...
That's crazy. And he did that. That's crazy. Drake said he wanted to have $25 million by the time he was 25. He did that. Then he said, after that, he wanted to have $250 million by the time he was 29. He did it. How? In 4 years. 4 years, you 10 times your 25 million. Off music, my nigga. 4 more album drops. That shit is beautiful. He bigger than UMG. He bigger than Universal Music Group. That's what I keep telling people. Drake is bigger than Universal Music Group. Listen to him.
I do. I always want more. You feel like ready to go back and start working on new music tonight, even though everyone around me needs.
This came out like last week.
Yeah. Everyone around me needs a breather for sure, but.
But dude, you said you wanted to have $25 million by the time you're 25. You did that. Now you say you want $250 million by the time you're 29. I mean, this is, given the...
That's what I'm saying. He did that. That boy worth a little bit over $1 billion. Drake worth a little bit over $1 billion. He got 15 albums that went diamond, meaning it went platinum 10 times. He got on Taylor Swift level right there. The man called. He surpassed one of Michael Jackson records. I said, like nobody else did it. Ain't nobody else did. Drake is. He is Michael Jackson. The next Michael Jackson. I'm going to call him Michael Jackson Jr. because really can't nobody be Michael Jackson. I'm going to call him Michael Jackson Jr. Yeah. Drake is Michael Jackson Jr. Because can't nobody be Michael Jackson. But he damn so close. Talking about, I read in the tabloids that some Michael Jackson fans was mad and then outraged because Drake acquired the Michael Jackson glove and wore it for his album cover. I said, them not Michael Jackson fans. I said, Michael Jackson fans would treat people like Michael Jackson would. Michael Jackson wouldn't have no problem with Drake buying his glove after he passed. All that memorabilia, that's for his family to make money off of, his kids to make money off of. He wasn't buying this shit for nothing. That shit is treasure. $1 million vases and shit. This set right here costs $3 million. This vase 1.5. This vase 1.5. Match it. He like, yeah, we have 7 sets in stock. He like, give me 3 sets. It's $9 million. Them vases don't depreciate. Porcelain don't depreciate. If anything, the value gonna go up. He just like a nigga grandma. My grandma used to buy porcelain and shit with her money. Cause she know it ain't gonna depreciate. And then when it becomes an antique, they gonna double, triple the price. 10 times the price sometimes. Yeah, Michael Jackson wanted his kids to benefit off anything and everything that he bought, include Neverland. Yeah, all that shit was for his kids, for the future. He said we are the world.
Modest way you grew up. What does money mean to you?
Well, I think less than the dollar value. It's just more about the idea of growth and business mindset. To 25 million.
He said, "What does money mean to you?" He think less of the dollar value. He don't really think about the value of the dollar. He really think about progressing, becoming a business owner, shit like that, owning things, acquiring things. Yeah, he building a vault for his legacy too, for his son. Yeah. Pharrell chains and shit like that. Tupac ring and Tupac's chain and shit. He buying all of that shit up. Yeah, let me get that. Michael Jackson glove, his jacket. I love Michael Jackson. If I could have bought a glove or a jacket, I would have bought it. Yeah. Nigga, if I could have buy a couple of items of Michael Jackson's, I would buy them and open up my own museum dedicated to Michael Jackson and his legacy. And I do it right here in Memphis. Yeah, add another tourist spot to Memphis. And it'll be all about Michael Jackson. Elvis Presley Boulevard would be fucking pissed at me because attraction like he was. Yeah, they come to my Michael Jackson museum. Yeah, and then where I'll have it like on each side of the building, I have probably giant Michael Jackson portraits of like the cover, like the cover to this segment where I got Michael Jackson and Drake with the glove on doing the same pose with the right hand over their eyes. Yeah, I'll put, you know what I'm saying, that pose and probably another pose with Michael Jackson with the glove on with a different jacket on the other side of the building, from his shoulders up to the top of his head. So it'll be giant portraits, and on each side you will be able to sign with like, probably not spray paint, but probably like a paintbrush. You know what I'm saying? We'll get one of, like, give everybody the smaller sponge paintbrush, those newer ones, smaller sponge paintbrush, and you can dip it in any paint. Which color paint you want? Yellow? Okay. Here's you a small bucket of yellow paint. Boom. You can go ahead, sign your name on any side of this portrait. We'll have the harness, and we'll have a carriage where a person will take you up if you want to sign at the top of the building, at the top of the wall. Yeah, and I have a Michael Jackson museum here. People will come just to do that. It'll be a viral moment in people's lives. Everybody. We'll have streamers and rappers and movie stars wanting to come to the Michael Jackson Museum in Memphis, sign the wall. Yeah. Yeah, if I could, I would. I buy a lot of Michael Jackson shit and I can give to his kids. That's all it's gonna do, increase their bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? Increase their bank account. His legacy. He chose them. I didn't choose his kids, he chose them. So yeah, that's his legacy. Whether he adopted them, you know what I'm saying? Because I told people, I said, no, that's not Michael Jackson's sperm. And like, yes it is. I'm like, Michael Jackson wasn't light-skinned. I said, Michael Jackson isn't pure white. And I said, those kids are pure white. I said, this is Michael Jackson, and this is how I'm thinking. I said, Michael Jackson went to the damn sperm donor place, and he watched the videos of the men that donated their sperm, and he wanted this man to have the top education. Went to some Ivy League school, has a 7-figure career or higher. Shit like this. I want some intelligent ass people. That can have kids for me. And then he chose the woman also. Yeah. He chose the woman also. Okay. I like how she thinks. Yeah. Okay. And she's educated. She has a doctor's. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna let my people vet this. And if it comes out that both of them are vetted to be good, then yes, these are the two people that I would choose to have my kids from. But we need them to sign NDAs because they can't talk about this situation. They'll be paid, but they can't. These are my kids. And that's how he adopted his kids. That's the kind of process he went through. You know what I'm saying? But he had them from birth. He took care of his kids from birth. You never saw a mother in the situation. You never saw a mother come out in court and say, I want my kids back, and Michael took them from me. I never get to see them. No, you never see that. You got to think how Michael Jackson would think. I believe Michael Jackson was pure. He was pure. That boy was pure like Jesus Christ. I'm talking about, just think about it. Just think about how he did that. Yeah, just think about it, y'all.
At the time seemed crazy to me, but when you start becoming a headlining touring act and, you know, brands want to get involved with you and you can go do private events and whatnot, it's, you know, you're capable of making it. And now I want to, you know, for sure, obviously keep touring, keep making music, but now I see that there's other ways you know, as far as like, you know, this global ambassador thing, as far as maybe starting, I want to invent something. I want to start a company. I want to do something that has maybe nothing to do with music.
Well, why do you care so much about success? Have you figured that out?
I'm just addicted to it.
Why?
I think that I've sacrificed so much for it already and dedicated so much of my time that I have to push it as far as I possibly can, because I've given up a lot of years as far as maybe like nurturing like personal relationships go, and you know, trying to.
Look, y'all, the point is, listen to Drake in this interview. Drake reminds you of somebody. When you listen to Michael Jackson in interviews, he's soft-spoken. I'm not soft-spoken. You listen to him in interviews, he's soft-spoken. Doesn't really get mad. He talks in a soft voice. Very proper. Very mannered. You haven't heard... Now, he curses in music, right? But the real him, you hear him in the interviews. He don't just, like, cursing is not in his vocabulary. He not like me, he's not from the hood, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he done been through struggle, but he been through a different type of struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, he done been through a different type of struggle. Me and his struggle aren't the same, but me and him can relate because we both struggle. You know what I'm saying? Listen to your boy, MJ Jr. I mean, just listen to your boy. It's MJ Jr., Michael Jackson Jr.
Build things like a family or a relationship, or I don't do any of that. I just kind of work. So with that being said.
And how do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that now. At this point in my life, I'm okay with that. I think it's a great age.
Come on, man. This is Michael Jackson Jr. I'm okay with that now. Huh?
To be doing that, you know, I think maybe in 10 years, if I'm still in that mindset, I might have to like come sit back down with you and be like, yeah, we gotta have it. This is a different conversation tonight. But yeah, no, I feel good about it.
I interview a lot of artists who will say, and I'll say, what is the dream here? What do you know? I just want to be able to play music, make a living. You know, it's just about the art. I mean, whether they're being duplicitous or not in the answer, they don't publicly say, I want to be number one, especially Canadian musicians.
Right.
You're not afraid to say that. Tell me why.
Well, I don't want to be number two. I think that would be a weird thing to sit here and say, or I don't care. You know, I want to make this city proud. You know, that's a.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's from Canada, but he's not a Canadian musician. Those of you who coming in, man, y'all like the video and sub to the channel if you're not already sub. He's not a Canadian musician. He's from Canada, but he's a U.S. musician. He's an American musician, because that's where his shit drop and that's where his shit go platinum. Don't try to give Canada credit for something that America did. Yeah, I don't care how long he stay over there in Canada. He's still American. I bet he won't sell all his homes over here in America. You know why? Because he gonna stay over here a lot too. Yeah, he gonna do that for sure. And Michael Jackson Jr. He might buy the Neverland Ranch.
Main reason for me, and number one, it takes a while to even become that. I don't even know what number. It's like number. I hate numbers, by the way. You know, I like to say I just want to win. you know, it's
you know, that's a debate in Canada, especially with Canadians, right? Well, just about uber modesty sometimes, you know, there's the subtext that we're not supposed to say, we want to win, you know. Some people take umbrage at the Own the Podium campaign for the Olympics. It's too much. You know?
Maybe that's what I got for my like summer times in Memphis then.
Yeah. Shout out to Memphis. Yeah, he gonna always mention Memphis. I told y'all he be over here a lot. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Drake, Michael Jackson Jr. Man, y'all for sure. Drake and Michael Jackson are two of the best that ever existed in the things that they do. And this is the Micheal and Drake Special, Part 2. We going all the way to Part 6. Yeah, we not playing about Drake no more. We gotta protect him. UMG, y'all can't have Drake. Yeah, Universal Music Group, you can't have him. We already got him. That's our guy. That's our brother. A mentor to a lot of people. An icon to a lot of people. Respected by a lot of people. Yeah, we love you. Michael Jackson, rest in peace. We love you, Drake. Yeah, this is Blocstarr Imis Analytics. What are we? We are Blocstarr analysts. What did we just do? We just analyzed the fuck out of how Michael Jackson is always gonna be Michael Jackson and Drake is Michael Jackson Jr. Yeah, and we gotta protect them both. We gotta protect Michael Jackson's name after they done took him away from us. And they still trying to beat his name up with shit like Netflix. And we got for sure gotta protect Drake. We gotta protect his life. He got a nice catalog and it's looking real delicious to motherfuckers like Sony Records who took out Michael Jackson initially. And motherfuckers like UMG who already tried to fuck off Drake's name with his own people. Kendrick, the little short nigga. Yeah, little short nigga from Compton. Well, Kendrick, I got some uncles out there in Bompton, and they OG, my nigga. Yeah, shout out to my uncle. Uncle Damien, OG blood. Yeah, all the way out there in Bompton. Tell him stop playing. Yeah, them folk love Drake out there. Yeah, the game them love Drake out there. They already told y'all that. Yeah, so we gotta protect our brother Drake. Listen, man, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, share the video with somebody you like or somebody you love and tell them when they come here, don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to comment down below. Your comments always count. Your likes always count. Your views always count. Listen, man, you've been chilling with yours truly. It's Blocstarr Imis, all the way from Memphis. Don't you forgive me. I thank y'all for being with me. I love y'all. We'll see y'all later on the night chat. And we go back live for the Micheal and Drake Special, Part 3. I love y'all. I'll be back.